Hi and welcome everyone. This is Nikhil Kapahi, your host, currently doing this alongside my job at Amazon. These are some of the shorter clips from the long format conversation that we have on our channel. I hope you enjoy this.
There are a few things. We are influenced a lot by body language, by the way people speak, and we do make first impressions very, very fast. It takes a few seconds to make a first impression. So, in spite of everything, I do think that there are a few techniques that are good to learn, good to know, and just in the way you present yourself, it will make you feel more confident and more comfortable when you present yourself, when you talk to other people. So, some really cool tips, I think, and very easy to implement are move slowly. So whatever your rates of movement and your speech are, just slow it down, take it down a notch, and move like you're in an aquarium for a while just to practice, right? Because if you look at people who are very confident, they never rush. And I'm not saying, always be on time. But what I'm saying, don't be in a rush. Take up space, sit up straight, head high, and then move slowly because you always see these people who are super confident and usually quite important and with the confidence that comes out of that influence. And then you'll have people rushing around them and moving very fast. Well, try to be more that person, that influential person who will, you know, take their time when you have to speak.
Right.
Don't rush through it. Just use a normal, slow down tone, voice, whatever. If you need to wrap it up afterwards, say less, but keep your speaking rates quite slow. You have the strategic pause. That is super important as well because especially if people tend to speak over you, uh, when you use that strategic pause, it creates tension. So it's a good way to have people's attention on you. It's also a good way to mark that you're going to say something important. So
What's an example of a strategic pause? Is it when you're talking and you take a break, or is it like you give space for because I'm wondering those highly energetic people around you will just wait to jump in. So
well, yeah, no, you're right. So listen, for example, you have all these people talking who are not necessarily listening. You can say, in a louder, confident voice, you can say, I have a question. And then you wait. And then that creates tension where people's attention falls on you. Or you can say, in a different setting as well, you can say, I have something important to say. And then we stop because that gives gravity to what you are going to say.
interesting, right?
And honestly,
Because now all the ears are turned towards you. They're like, okay, what is going to come next? That anticipation, right? Like, what's going to come next?
yeah,
Okay.
that creates anticipation and that gives gravity to what you're going to say. There was this experiment on adolescent popularity that was done. And they wanted to find out what makes an adolescent popular. So what makes somebody popular? And they started looking at all of these parameters. Is it popularity? Is it how they look? Is it because they're jocks? Do you know what they found? The teams that were the most popular were the ones who liked the most people. So you don't necessarily, in order to be interesting, it's sometimes just enough
You have
to
to
be
be
interested.
interested.
Exactly. So you can just, you can ask, if you don't necessarily know what to say immediately, ask questions, get interested in the other person. Now, this doesn't need to look like we're at the police station, right? But you can ask a question and then you can reciprocate with something around that's happened to you as well. You can try to find commonalities. We like people who are similar to us. So just go in there, ask questions, and be genuinely interested in the other person. And that actually makes you like them. I don't know if this happens to you, but if you have a conversation with people who are very good listeners, you will end up doing most of the talking. And then you'll leave the place and go, oh, you know what? Nikhil is so cool. I had an amazing time. Whereas you potentially didn't say much except to just listen to my story. But people love to talk about themselves. Most people love to talk about themselves. So I think, especially when you're introverted, that's a really cool technique to know. There's another thing called a social warm-up. When you work out, you need to warm up, right? So that you make sure that your muscles don't strain and that you can actually do a good workout without having any issues afterwards. Well, that actually works in social setting as well. If you have when you didn't talk to anybody in your day and then you come and you have a discussion, you notice that there's something very off energy and there's something very awkward about it. Well, it's because you didn't warm up before. You can actually do that by the more people you talk to before you have something important coming up, the more of the chances that you'll be much more open and you'll have a much better interaction because you went through that social warm-up. Now, how can you do that? Well, one, if you can talk at the beginning of the day with, people who are close to you, there's one. But for example, saying hello to people in the streets or in the shops or wherever, you can also try to have discussions with people who are at the reception desk if you have an important meeting coming up. And the fact that you're actually starting to interact with people, that kind of pumps you up for your next interactions, especially if you have something important going on. So that's another cool exercise. And what you can add to that, if you want to become more comfortable in talking to people, is start talking to strangers. Like, not in a weird way, it needs to be contextual, but you can say something about the weather. You have somebody sitting in line in front of you. You can say something related to the groceries or to the shop. You can actually start having interactions in these contexts where honestly, there's no risk, right? Those people don't know you. So you can actually test different things and different interactions with people you don't know. Just, keep it contextual so that it doesn't become particularly weird. But even if it's a bit weird, it's okay because you're testing out new behaviors, right? Who are you at the next level? How do you dress? How do you move? How do you speak? How do you interact with people? And try to imagine that as vividly as possible. And then write it down. And then do visualization exercises. You don't necessarily need to do that every day, but try to do it at least once a week, because your brain doesn't make the difference between what actually happened and what you've imagined. So it will start integrating those different habits, that way of speaking, that way of presenting yourself. And eventually you will get to the next level of, in terms of identity, in terms of how you present yourself. And then for interacting, okay, this is a little bit more expensive and it takes a bit more time, but public speaking classes or theater, like amateur theater, even if you don't necessarily intend to do it, actually go speak publicly or do conferences.
If you thought this clip was interesting, I want you to go watch the whole conversation. These guests are exceptional people that I've found within my network. You will not find them anywhere else on the platform. If you want more of such content, please click subscribe and click the notification button so you get notified when the next video comes out. I really appreciate you for listening in. Thank you so much.